we'll start with introductions, and we'll go to this table next. I'm Steve, NE5SD, the current president.
Dwayne, A5PD.
Dave, WD5G.
Larry, N0YNN.
Bill, N3WSH, and I'd like to remark that those two guys sitting there like that, they look like twins. Are you guys related?
They act like it.
Yeah, there's an asterisk.
Hey, if they're twins, they're gonna have to retake their test because there's 2 tests for twins.
Lucian.
Lucian, KD5LPV.
Bill, N5NUK.
Tom, W89AFM.
That's fine.
Arnie, W5SRO.
Bill, K5QXB.
Sam, KI5SAM.
Hal, KB1ZQ.
Terry, W5TJS.
Janice, Kilo Fox 5 November Delta Uniform.
Bill, AD5BU.
Sandy, KI5CHE.
Hal.
California.
I've already done KB1ZQ. Okay, so we've done the introductions. We currently have 3 new generals, 2 new techs with another potential that's going to be taking an exam shortly. So when you walk outside, if she's still testing, please try to be quiet. Welcome to the meeting. Oh, he gave me a hammer. Bad idea.
Don't hit the computer. Hit it twice.
There's a
Okay,
sign-up
call to
sheet.
order, intro, secretary's report.
Secretary's report is, emailed, the minutes were emailed out to everybody, so. There's a sign-in sheet on,
The back
Mr.
table.
Edwards got it back here in the back. If you've not signed it yet, please do before you leave.
Okay, if you find any errors with the minutes, please send them to either myself or Bill, N5NUK, correct?
Correct.
And otherwise, they are accepted as written. Treasurer's report, Mr. Ernie.
Yes, everybody received the treasurer's report via email. The only odd item on it was 30 US postage stamps. I had to renew the supply of those. Then there's a little box for the Darrell Brim WA3 OPY Memorial. It was in the minutes the last time that Chris Brim had donated $200 to the club. And dear Chris and family, thank you very much for the donation to OCAPA. The executive committee approved labeling the funds as the Darrell Brim WA3 OPY Memorial. This designation recognizes the leadership, friendliness, and participation of WA3 OPY in OCAPA activities. So we've acknowledged it, and there's a little named fund. My thought on the named fund is people are a little more careful when they spend stuff,
Yeah.
when it's got a name on it. But it's unrestricted, so.
That was very nice of them, so. OCAPA net report.
We had about a dozen check-ins this last Thursday evening. Net meets Thursday evening, 1930 local, 146.82. Be there, be square. Also looking for a 4th net control station. I got my eyes on one guy.
The repeater will be busy next Sunday morning and next Saturday morning, I believe, also for the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. So, VE testing report, I already gave it. 3 new generals, 2 new techs, with another potential new tech coming. Tech committee report.
Our only repeater, 146.82, which is north of the Capitol, about a mile or so, is working pretty well, but we had some noise recently on the last net. I guess, was that the week before last, especially. And haven't tracked that down, but Dwayne and I did make a field trip down there with the binoculars and took a look at it. And unlike one time before, it's not laying up against a tower, it's right where it should be. And it had no visible damage that we could determine. So I guess would seem logical that it's an external interference that we haven't tracked down. And but the other disconcerting thing about that is that after somebody somebody unkeyed, we're kind of still hearing that same noise coming out. So, we're gonna have to get down and investigate that. It's a lot harder. Yes, sir.
Possibilities, solar flares that has been going up this past week or two and month. For your information, I have had some problems on my handheld, transmitting and receiving.
Yeah. Okay, well, that situation's abated, I guess. Maybe not. So the other question, let me go on with the other repeaters. You wanna cover those or just out?
Go ahead.
We approved at last meeting purchase of a new Yaesu DR2X fusion repeater. And Icom had their special one, so we got that. We paid $900 for it. Sold the old one for $500. And this one is a new one that now lets us run full 50-watt output, unlike the old DR1X that we sold. And it also has the $200 LAN card option, which makes possible IMRS, which is Yaesu's version of repeater interlinking.
Excuse me, I think she's ready.
Well, we've got it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So at some point, we may examine the possibility, once we get network access at each site, Blacks and Newcastle, we can marry the two repeaters up. So, but right now, the big thing is to actually get them all on the air. So the new repeater that we just got, we plan to put up on top of Integris Hospital, where we have an existing UHF antenna. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, we loaned that to a guy. Since our repeater died, we had an old, I think it was a GE tube type, and it died after many years of nice service, but there's still a UHF antenna up there. So our plan is to, once we get access up there, which is not an easy thing, replace that repeater with our new repeater, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the antenna and feed line is still good on that. Then the more complex problem is finishing up down at Newcastle. We made a field trip down there too this week and did a look-see and looked at the possibilities of using a bucket to go up and down the side of the tower to attach the coax and to attach the antenna up at the top. But Dwayne did a little investigation, and from Sunbelt, I think it is, the people down there on 240, and they have buckets, and they have one that'll do the job, but it's 34,000 pounds. It's $1,100 rent a day. You have to have special training and a certificate to use the thing, so that's kind of out of the question. However, it'd be a nice, easy way to do it. We looked at how we could peel back the fence and get in there, should we need to get nearer, and yeah, we can do that. But probably, given all those things, it's probably more reasonable to just see if we can get a commercial outfit to do it reasonably. So we've come up with a new method of attaching the coax down the tower that makes it much easier, because there's some X braces that the coax would, in the wind, probably with any flex at all, would wear through shortly. So we can attach it on that 3 or 4 inch, do you think?
Probably
3 or 4 inch gray electrical conduit. So that'll be a great thing. The other thing that makes this less complex, if we can get somebody to climb, when you've got a couple people that offer to go up the, and really when we say climb, there's about a 70-foot ladder that goes straight up to the work platform, which is a big X, and there's a catwalk there, so you can get out to the corners of the thing. So anybody that's aware of our repeater down at Blacks, the antenna actually points downward. And I know it sounds like heresy, but it works fine, and it's not an uncommon thing in commercial radio. So doing that at Newcastle would give up a little bit of altitude, but probably not that much.
And we gain in ease of installation.
Yes. And then the other thing, and right now, the other part is that this week I've been working behind the scenes a lot, and Don Clark and I actually modified the first trombone of the antenna we'll be putting up there. And it's a pretty significant jump. It's added 3 inches to the trombones, And that takes them from the 155 megahertz range where they resonate down to the ham bands. So that should be a good go. We still got 3 more to cut, and aluminum welding is different if you've never done that before. So we got through that and figured it out, and looks mechanically secure. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts, but it's all basically limited on somebody climbing and or somebody giving us access to get into a repeater.
Is the requirement still the climber had to be commercially certified? Or has that been modified?
It was modified. I forgot the exact language, but we went back and talked to him about that, and he said, I think he changed it to preferred. But, and preferred and has suitable climbing equipment on, so that means safety belt and all the,
Harness.
right, all the necessary stuff.
Well, I know Warren, and I don't mind doing it, because I begged out when I heard that it had to be a certified commercial. But he is not certified commercial either, but either one of us, I'm sure would be glad to.
Right. So the challenge is getting you 2 guys there at the same time that us guys are there with materials, and when the wind's under 100 mile an hour, and there's no storms, and to get up there and do this. So,
Okay.
so yeah, appreciate that, and a lot of this is mechanical stuff, but some of the things, it's gonna be on the fly engineering, where we gotta say, well, how are we gonna mount this? Or what's the distance on the bolt holes, what's the size, so that we fabricate a bracket if we need to. So that's what we're up against.
Okay.
Yes, sir?
I've got a question about the Fusion repeater. Is it just Fusion Digital? Or is
No. The Fusion, Yaesu has a technology they call AMS, Automatic Mode Selection. And initially there was a problem using it, but what it does is it says, oh, well there's Tom on C4FM Fusion. So I'm gonna get into Fusion mode and do that. A couple minutes later, Dwayne gets on FM and he keys up. It goes out as FM, so he can talk to his FM buddies.
It's first come, first served.
Well, the reason I asked that, I was talking to a woman at Claremore, talking about their Fusion repeater up there will do all these different modes, not simultaneously, but what you're talking about. So I
And
was
we
wondering-
did that too. He had one set up at his house. We can go back and resurrect that too, but.
And being from Piedmont, having something at Baptist Hospital is really exciting.
Oh, wow, absolutely. That's an 8-bay antenna up there, so it's really got some gain and coverage. And when you're up there, you can see for miles. It's a great sight.
And eventually it'll have wires X on it.
Yeah,
So,
and we're gonna get that from Bill Underwood, so that'll give us our network access. So initially, you can use it as a regular UHF FM or as a C4FM landlocked. And then once we get the piece set up at Bill's house, then we'll have network access.